dashing, and it was really cool. I'm today. And in the process of that, well, last night when I'm driving, my first order of business, I was able to start setting up to drive, and I got my order to BJ, going to the BJ's, and it was $18, and it was shopping for. So my wife and I went together, and she helped me out with in terms of kind of like we're going through and just kind of shopping through different parts of the store. And there was an interesting thing that happened. One of the things was they had a thing for measuring out the weight of a chicken. They had a picture of a chicken, right? Of a chicken, like a packet of chicken and stuff, a frozen packet of chicken, like chicken wings. And it was the picture they showed me was not the picture they wanted, right? So the picture they wanted was a it was instead of it being like 2.89 per pound, right? To 2.89 pounds, and it's like this big package. They wanted it but 0.25, which is a quarter pound of chicken. And so the thing was like I went there and I tried to scan it, and it said to put enter the price. So I tapped in, enter the price, and everything like that. And what ended up happening was it didn't accept it. So I had to kind of go in there, put the price number, and I had to cancel out and says that this item was not available. Because what happened was like the stuff that they wanted was at the deli, as the butcher and the butcher part of the BJ, and so in the BJ's grocery store they had that part there, and so when I went to it, it was closed for the night, and so it was already too late for that. I want to quick shout out this shirt. My mom got this for me back many years ago. This shirt is about 30 years old, 30-year-old shirt, and so what happens is this is from Jurassic Park 1993. You know, when Jurassic Park, the first original one came out, so this is a shirt my mom got me, and I wanted to just kind of share that with you because I thought it was really kind of cool to have that. I have actually have a shirt from that time, Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park. Anyway, so just want to touch base on that. And so yesterday I did a couple of trips. It wasn't even that many. I went out for a few hours, and because I have the top dasher status in my area, I was able to go out and to do a couple of quick trips. And the trips turned out I did a lot of shopping, like shopping for people at the restaurant. Another thing too, when you're doing your door dashing, make sure your battery is charged as much as possible, because what happens is that if the whole app uses the battery power a lot, so you have to have your phone be charging in the meantime, as well as being able to have your phone continue to charge when you're going in between delivering. So one of the things I find out too is that if you don't do that, you could actually mess up an order, and well, pretty much that's something you don't want to have happen, because then you have to charge your phone and wait for it to charge. The person's waiting for you, and you can get a bad rating for that. So whatever you want to do, make sure you protect your ratings as much as you can, because if you don't protect your ratings, it'll get destroyed. So pretty much you can get your ratings really messed up if you don't protect it. And so what I've been working on the last couple of days have been this Allosaurus, and so every time I'm on live, I actually want to just kind of keep working on it. That way you know that I'm lively working on a creature in the midst of talking with you. So one of the things I found out too is like I've just been able to do this. I want to thank God for all my subscribers that's been subscribing lately. The last most late thing that has happened of late was they talked about this thing with regarding in Louisiana. There's a regards to they're testing out a thing where they're not having where dashers would get tipped after delivery as opposed to being tipped before you deliver. So it's kind of one of those things that you kind of predetermine what kind of tip you want to tip your driver before that time happens. So what ends up happening is that the many times people say if you have it where the person's going to have a desire to tip after delivery, then it could be like it's kind of like the thing where the whole thing is talking about no tip no trip, right? So you have the whole tip no trip thing, and people have been saying that how it's been working is that if they don't see a tip in the app, like I'm gonna do this. I've been doing live videos, but I'm gonna actually do an edited video for you guys. I'm gonna show you some of the trips and stuff like that I've done, and in the midst of that, you'll be able to see some of the work and how it is in regards to tipping. And so, what happens when a person gets a tip or they see the tip, they're more inclined to quickly get their food ordered or picked up, as well as if they don't see it, they might just say, well, you know what? In a case where you're kind of thinking, well, during the week it's a little bit different than during the weekend. There's a couple of guys I listen to, and they each has a different take on that. Bentley has a different take on it. Bentley Cooper from DoorDash Diaries. There's also Bet on You Pedro. I've been listening to him. Bet on You Pedro Santiago. I've been listening to him as well, and I've been listening to there's More Finance, and there's Nugs, and a bunch of different people who I listen to regarding their take on the DoorDash experience. So what has been late was that there was a mention about how in Louisiana they actually had this thing where they're trying to see what it would be like if they actually do a DoorDash without with the tips coming afterwards, see how that goes. Because see, the thing is, it's kind of like I'm thinking in terms of a food restaurant, right? What happens is on one side you have it where if, for example, people order in the Papa John's app, right? In the Papa John's app, they could put the tip to the Papa John's app, and it might go to the store and not to the driver. Or if they order in the DoorDash app and it goes to you go to DoorDash and they order it through the DoorDash app into the Papa John's, they could go to the driver and not to the store. But what happens is they talked about that thing where the people have been stealing tips, and so in the process of them stealing tips, what's happened is the drivers have complained against that. So they have a thing in California where I'm not 100% sure all the details of it because I live here in New York. But in California, there's one where it talks about like there's a proposition type thing where they're trying to get the dashers to have like a base pay. So the dashers and the other gig food workers be able to do get a base pay so that they can actually be able to have their money coming in constantly. So that way, not to worry so much about tips. It's kind of like if a person gives a tip, that's that plus. So if you have like 18 bucks an hour, and then you get a tip on top of that, that's not 18 plus say $3 tip is $21 an hour now, as opposed to it being like here you do something and you get a tip and it's like it's part of the package. So for me yesterday, the trip to do the door dashing at the BJ's was at $18. It was $18, and it included the base pay and included the base pay, included the priority picking, and as well as it also had the customer tip in there as well. So the customer tip was like $10. So that was like pretty cool. I was like, wow, $10 tip for this. So it was like it took us a long time to actually shop through because many of the things that we were looking for was not in the normal place that we normally shop. That we normally shop at that BJ. So it was kind of like very convenient for us because we knew majority of the stuff. But there were some nuanced things that we don't ever pick. Like there was type of pepperoni or something that we were like, we don't get that kind of pepperoni. And there was some a box of like, cashews that are different than how you normally get it in a big bag of cashews. Because we have a big family where I live here, and so we eat differently than some things. So people get like a couple comfort foods and things, a little small thing, and that's not gonna fly in our house. So we have to kind of get things that are bigger and much better than that. So whenever we do like a production of sorts or a pickup or a grocery shop, which we're going to go do tonight. I'm also going to go drive tonight, so I'm going to take some video of that as well. But in the meantime, I just wanted to just kind of touch base with you, let you know what's going on. So the decision about the prop details are saying that maybe they're going to test this out in Louisiana and see how it goes down. And hopefully it doesn't. I don't think it's a good idea because I think it's like, you should tip before, kind of have that settled regardless of the person coming out to do the driving. Yes, it's important, but the thing they should actually go out there and just tip it before so it's okay, this is how much you give as a tip, a little extra bonus, yeah, whatever do, because there's certain demographics, certain neighborhoods I've been to, they don't tip at all. Okay, they don't tip, and you can actually tell kind of like the people who tip versus the people who don't tip. Then the people who don't tip, they know who they are, and some people call those people really miserable. That's why the whole no tip no trip movement kind of happened, because they were kind of saying like if you don't do that, you're kind of showing that you're not a person worthy of a driver. So Pedro was showing how Pedro Santiago on his channel was showing how when there was somebody ordered something that was 90 something dollars, right, and it was there like at this restaurant for like 4 hours because nobody's gonna pick it up. Nobody wanted to pick it up because it's a huge order and there was no tip on it. So I don't know. I know it's kind of like that's the thing is if you don't have the hassle of dealing with a person who's not going to tip, then you just don't accept the order, right? So that's what happened. Nobody accepted the order. So we're all kind of getting a little bit smarter and smarter. So how they're going to counteract against that was the whole after delivery kind of a tip thing. So once you get the delivery done, after it's delivered, then people can tip you. But that doesn't bode well for the drivers, because many times once you're done, you're about to eat your food and you're hungry, you're not about to go back into the app and say, well, let me just tip this guy for all his hard work. It's kind of like you do before, because you know how it is. Most places, they're not into having to go back and redo stuff. So when you go back there and you try and redo things, you have it where you're faced with a situation where the people may not actually want to actually help you. So that's kind of the thing there. So one thing I've been noticing about when I've been driving is that I find that sometimes people, they don't put in the thing and put the tip in the amount, and they give you like cash tips, and I think that's really cool. So anyway, that's one of the things that I found to be very helpful and very useful regarding the whole aspect of making money as a gig worker. I don't use multiple apps. I just use DoorDash, and I do my artwork on the side too to be able to pay our bills and everything like that too. So again, if you like one of our artwork or art pieces, definitely contact me. Write me through my Instagram, or write me through messages here. Actually, pretty much through my Instagram, and write about how pretty much how you want to commission a piece, because we can do commission work. So as you can see, I'm sitting here just making this dinosaur right now. But for the most part, though, we can make dinosaurs and we can paint them. And I've shown you ones before in the past. I'll show you. Let's see. I have a class on some of the ones that I have, but for the most part, that we are constantly working on stuff, making it better, making it better. And so that's what we're trying to do. So constantly making our work better and our work better. So anyway, long story short, just wanted to say a couple words on that. I want to thank you so much for listening to my show. Please like and subscribe. I'm in the process of just kind of revamping my entire channel. So what happens is that as I'm working through this thing, I'm learning about the members and all these things, about members channels, and about things in art and things like that. So I have classes that I want to actually just show with everyone, but I don't want to just kind of show it because I could probably have it for my members, but I haven't kind of completely decided as to what I'm going to do as yet. But for the most part, though, all those who have been supporting me since the beginning, or those who have been with me, I just want to thank you so much for paying attention and watching my stuff. I wish you all the best. Definitely, tip your workers, those people who work for you, who help you out, who do stuff. If you're gonna order food, definitely tip your driver. Whether it's the pizza guy, whether it's the people who deliver stuff to you. That if you can, just remember them. It's a little effort thing. It is work, yes, and we might get a little base pay, but it's always nice to have a little extra something for labor and to know that you appreciate it. So as opposed to you go to certain places and you risk your life, you risk your life and limb just to be able to go there. Like I've had many times where I had one time I was working down like deep in the heart of like I didn't want to say where, but I was over there, and what happened was I had to wait online for like 20 minutes, right? They had to go to another store for the same person and wait for another like 10 or 15 minutes for the food to be ready. And when I got to the house, delivered the food, we had to walk up the stairs with like their drinks, their tons of drinks, and there was no tip. And, there wasn't even a thank you. So it was like, we were like, oh my goodness. But then by the grace of God, it's like the next person that you meet, they'll give you a tip and they'll give you a really nice tip too. So it's kind of like you kind of balance it out. Sometimes you don't get a tip from the person that, you shop for, but you get one from the other person that, that didn't, you did a little bit of work for and they give it to you because it's just the way it works. Anyway, so long story short, what I found is that it's actually better to just trust God and just say, what, it's going to work out. You can actually just no, don't take, you don't want to go and stand in line at a Wendy's, or you want to stand in line at the White Castle or anything like that. You want to go to the drive-in at the White Castle or the drive-in at the Wendy's. Then what happens is that you just don't do it. And so when you don't do that, you actually, you can speed up your time and do more stuff. But for the most part, though, you're just definitely trying your best not to be overwhelmed by the aspect of like just being negative, because if you get into a bad mood spell, I mean it's just really terrible because you start like falling downhill. If you're falling down a hill of the bad moods, you can actually really mess up your night. So definitely keep a positive attitude. One of the things about a couple things is back again. Make sure you check your orders. Check your orders out. Always check your details as much as you can. See if you can do the quickest shopping first. Number one, and two is like those food ones that you go shop for people, they do take more time. So and that's why they pay a little more, and they usually have a tip attached to those. So that's something there to look into. I've been door dashing for about since December of 2021, and it has been a journey actually for me. So again, just want to say thank you again for like listening, and I wish you all the best. Thank you again for just if you would like to get one of these one of these creatures that I make as I'm talking. What happens is that it actually just write me a message or let me know. My Instagram is one life must art. So Instagram.com/one life must art. You can find me, find my details there. And if you'd like to send us a super chat or anything like that, you can't do that if you want to, because what happens is that we enjoy the super chats as well as being able to talk and have questions. So always feel free to write us questions. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video now. And thank you so much for watching. Those who watched, feel free to go back ahead and rewatch what we just already did. All right. So peace and God bless. Thank you so much for paying attention and watching. And I wish you all the best on your travels. So safe travels, safe travels to you. God bless you. And talk to you soon. All right. Bye.